It won't be easy carrying your dead child to term.
I have to tell James. I'm just terrified that I'll lose him.
Don't tell him.
But
Not yet. Had a thought. Say nothing until we've spoken.
Sarah and I won't be returning with you. I thought we'd stay in town for the night to celebrate her success.
Your brother and Mr. James, how is the unfortunate matter proceeding?
You're sure?
Absolutely. You'd have known last week if George hadn't forbidden communication.
And she has no idea.
Isn't it delicious? You've won. I thought you'd be cock-a-hoop.
I wanted something that would prove her unfit. This simply proves her unavailable.
It still sees her gone.
And me, far less forgivable. Perhaps if the news came from you.
I think not.
Well, it's your discovery.
Made on your instructions. No, I need to be in a position to pick up the pieces. He'll forgive you. Eventually.
As for your being here, I would rather you leave once the news is broken.
We struck a deal, remember?
Which I shall honour in due course.
No, you won't. Unless you have to. We both know that.
You'll stay or go as I see fit.
I hope you don't mind if we... Reggie!
Surprise, my darling.
Welcome home.
It's marvellous to be home.
Well, we were thinking of having supper in our room, but since you're here, I think that...
Oh, please, no fuss, no fuss. I'm here to stay. Plenty of time to catch up.
Nonsense. Grandmother?
Oh, it's been a long day. We'll talk at breakfast.
Please give my best to Olivia.
See you at breakfast.
James has been getting up to all sorts of mischief, I hear. With Amy's brother. She was most forthcoming. No, I think you'll need me here for support.
Reggie's back. She's downstairs.
I thought she'd planned to be away for months.
So did I. I suspect Grandmother's venting her spleen about the party. I was shooed away. But at least we enjoyed ourselves. Despite your being monopolized by Andrew Swanson.
He was simply being friendly.
Yes, he was. To you more than most.
James, he feels he can talk to me. We should invite him down again. Soon.
Not too soon. Certainly not while Leonard's still here.
Amy, may I have a word, please? Colin, will you take the laundry? This is not a pleasant task for me. You've been indiscreet.
Mrs. Standish said she knew.
She only suspected. Unfortunately, you have confirmed those suspicions, which puts me in a very delicate position.
I would never do wrong by you or Mr. James, not deliberately.
I know. But I cannot risk a similar occurrence.
Ma'am, I miss my sister. And I do remind Mr. James.
Yes.
So, I think perhaps I should go.
A wise choice. Thank you. 3 months' salary and a fine recommendation will be ready for you within the hour. Norman will drive you wherever you wish to go. I see no point in delaying matters.
No.
You go with my blessing.
Ma'am, I understand.
Good morning, Colleen.
Morning, sir.
Where's Amy?
Best ask Mrs. Bly.
Amy's gone.
Oh, apparently her sister needed her. We have more pressing matters. George, will you sit?
Before you continue, the party must have dispelled your doubts about Sarah. This 3-month trial nonsense.
That's something of a moot point now. Will you sit?
Mother.
George, this is important, please. Regina returned last night with information. Oh, God, this honestly brings me no pleasure.
Mother, there's nothing you can tell me about Sarah that's worse than I already know.
I'm afraid there is. This is something you couldn't possibly know. Miss Adams doesn't even know it herself.
Thank you for the bed.
Any time, my darling.
Father.
George? George!
What's happened?
It doesn't concern either of you. Not yet.
Hello. What?
Regina's back.
What she said?
Mother swears it's true.
George.
She says there's proof.
Of what?
They say your husband's alive.
Ah, my least favorite Bly. Regina. Elizabeth mentioned you'd relocated. Did you run out of men in the city?
I came for the country air. It's a lot less fresh suddenly. What have you done?
Saved George from becoming a bigamist.
Mrs. Bly is asking for you, ma'am.
That's my cue.
Miss Adams has come for clarification.
I told you that if you caused any trouble...
You must shoot the messenger, George. You must. But I do hope you understand in time.
I hope we can do this without rancor.
Tell me.
I do regret having to do this.
Now.
Given Elizabeth's concerns, I employed inquiry agents throughout Europe. I discovered a number of disturbing facts. Facts, it seems, George is aware of, so we won't even discuss them. Everything changed, however, when my man visited your sister-in-law in Paris. He sensed an unease when he questioned her about your marriage. He dug deeper and imagine what he found.
Regina.
I apologize. Madame Duval spends much time with her invalid brother, recently discovered alive in a Jewish repatriation hospital. The whys and wherefores of his survival are unclear, but he was recognized by a former colleague who joined the medical staff. For 8 years, he was a brain-damaged John Doe. A photograph taken by my man a week ago.
murders him. Oh, dear God. Would you mind waiting outside, please?
Of course.
Thank you. It's not fair for George to have to hear this. Renee was the love of my life. For some reason, his sister chose not to tell me he's alive. Whatever your motives, thank you. Without you, I may never have known.
So noble.
Enough. Miss Adams, I wish you well. Goodbye, Mrs. Bly. What a sad and pathetic creature you are.
Not a word.
I must go to him.
I know what he meant to you. I know. I know what you went through to survive him.
I had to tell Jack and move my things to Roy's.
I'll see to that.
I'll take the train tomorrow to the city, stay with Aunt Peg until I leave.
You have to go by aeroplane. You need to get there as soon as possible. I will cover the cost.
You can't.
I can. Whatever's needed to ease your way. I'd fight if there was a point, but there's not. I know you. He's your husband.
I don't know what I'll find there.
You'll be true to whatever you find there. That's who you are.
My darling.
Amy's left, but I doubt it's connected to that.
So nothing else out of the ordinary's happened?
Just Reggie arriving.
What happened at the party?
Father was over the moon. Sarah carried the day.
Go and see if you can get any more out of grandmother than we could.
Anna, I'm sure we'll know soon enough.
Andrew sent his best wishes, by the way. You wouldn't mind if we had him down again, would you?
Livy.
He's quite moved on.
Of course I mind. If grandmother's done anything to hurt them, I will never forgive her.
George. What's happened?
Right.
I apologize for leaving you in the lurch.
Oh, you got to go. Of course you do. Will you be back?
I don't know.
We never spoke of him much.
It's taken 8 years to hear the words I prayed for.
If it makes you glad, I'm glad. How did they get it so wrong?
I just really don't know. I'll come back tomorrow for goodbyes. I can't face everyone now.
Colleen will take that.
I feel like some air. It won't be long. I'd like to place a long-distance call to a Sydney number, thank you.
Excuse me. Sorry, Mrs. Bly's on the telephone. She says it's important.
Elizabeth Bly?
Mrs. James Bly, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm simply being a friend. Hello?
I'm so sorry to interrupt your dinner. It's the only time I can telephone without being noticed. What you said as we left the party.
We shouldn't discuss this on the telephone. We should meet.
How can you possibly help?
If you have the courage for the solution, I can solve your problem.
You can't really come here, I'm afraid, but I may have a good excuse to get away.
Let me know once you've arrived.
I have to go. So tense downstairs. James, I'm feeling awfully uncomfortable being caught up in the middle of all of this. Would you mind if I went to stay in the city?
You get to bed at all?
I dozed here on and off.
You had a visitor.
George.
You were sleeping. I don't think he knew what to say.
I wish he'd woken me.
How do you want to get through today?
I want to say goodbye to my patients and the staff.
I could whip you around the truck if you'd like.
Thanks. I'll take a late train, make arrangements from Peg's.
You gonna give old Ma Bly a serve before you go?
Whatever pain she's caused, she's given me something extraordinary. I should have felt him alive. I should have known.
That's enough of that. Lady muck or not, that old girl's gonna get the sharp edge of my tongue the next time I see her.
Watch yourself.
Father! Would you like some company?
Not really. I'm sorry.
Are you going to see Sarah?
Later.
Well, don't you want to spend as much time with her as possible?
I want to spend the rest of my life with her. I can't.
Well, it might not work out with her husband.
It won't be for want of the trying.
You've got to fight for her.
Anna.
All right. I'll stay out of it.
If I know Sarah, she won't leave without saying goodbye. Let her come to you.
If there's anything I can do.
Your offering means the world.
the family is choosing to avoid us.
Hardly surprising.
I'd hoped to see George before I left. I've decided you're right. A discreet withdrawal now will bear fruit later.
That would be the decent course of action.
Any indecencies I show come from your desire to renege on our arrangement. I will return.
I hate you both. No one would ever have known if you two hadn't gone poking around.
I did what I thought was best, my darling.
Would you rather your father had become a bigamist, Anna? What if it had come out after the wedding?
Gino and I have set the date of our wedding. It's in 6 weeks, in the Catholic Church. And you are not invited.
Fiery.
Tedious.
My dear friend.
You're right. Reckon I won't. I'm not sure if this is the right time, but I'd like you to know, Carolyn and I...
Yes?
Yeah.
It's the nicest farewell gift I could imagine.
You ready to face Doris?
As I'll ever be.
Miss Adams, when Alma told me you were leaving, I said, no, dear, that's quite impossible. Miss Adams is one of us, but she left me with no choice but to believe. Your husband, I hear, alive.
Yes.
I mean, no disrespect, but how is it possible to mislay a husband?
I've enjoyed knowing you, Mrs. Collins.
Oh, you go to him, Miss Adams. Go to him and bring him home to us. This is your home now.
I wish I could.
Sensitivity for poor Mr. Bly, I understand. But I'm going to say au revoir, not goodbye, in the hope that we do meet again.
You can't leave us. Oh, girls, our decorum.
We've come to say goodbye. Livy's relocating to the city until the tension subsides.
How is your father?
Trying to be strong. I'll be with him. Don't worry.
Good.
You saved me. Twice.
2 reasons I'm glad I came into your lives.
Whatever happens, I hope it brings happiness.
And you. I'm sure you'll be a wonderful mother.
I hope so.
Take care.
You're not to worry. I can manage on my own.
Are you sure?
I'll do some shopping, go to the cinema, perhaps see a show. And we will talk each night. It's just best I stay here until matters at Ash Park have settled. All will be well. Go.
I really think I should stay the night. I don't
Please.
like to leave you, especially at this stage.
I have weeks yet. Stop worrying. Your father needs you more than I.
All right. All right. Bye. Bye-bye, little one.
Goodbye, darling. I wish to place a person-to-person call.
Seems we shall have a house guest.
Who?
Olivia Bly. She's avoiding some fracas at Ash Park.
Andrew.
Fear not. Even I wouldn't assault the virtue of a mother-to-be.
glad you came. I've got something for you. It's in 6 weeks, and it's for 2 people.
Your wedding.
We'd love you to come.
If anything could bring me back.
I won't say goodbye, because it won't be for long.
I love the way you view the world. Be happy. Both of you.
It wouldn't have happened without you.
It just might have taken longer. I'm so glad we met. Jack told me. It's wonderful.
You're a lucky girl. I hope that works its magic.
I'm sorry, I have so much.
Please, come back.
Never thought I'd see the day when that young slip of a girl would make more sense than you.
I couldn't do it to George.
George. I'm leaving. I don't blame you. You're my only family.
You should have thought of that before you let Mother draw you into her schemes.
As you say, drawn in, which hardly makes me culpable. Please see that.
You're not welcome to stay again.
But I may visit. At least that's not a no.
Don't look so worried. Everything's going to be all right. You'll see.
Roy. Mr. Bligh.
How is she?
She's not sure which way's up or down.
Part of her must be happy.
Part of her's miserable as a wet bee. You being a gentleman's helping. You'll be seeing her before she goes, I suppose.
Of course.
You can tell me to bugger off if I'm overstepping the mark. But something needs saying. She's been doing the rounds of goodbyes, and it's clear as day that she'll be missed. And by crikey, she's going to miss us. But there's something she needs to hear, Mr. Bligh. And I reckon you're the only one that can say it.
Mr. Briggs.
Missy earned more love in 6 months here than you've done in a lifetime. I reckon a lot of people around here are going to be awake up to you after this. And it's about time.
You can't be serious.
I am.
I couldn't.
Why not?
I couldn't live with the deception.
But if it were to save your marriage...
How could it possibly work?
More simply than you can imagine. Tell your obstetrician you found a new man. Then meet Dr. Jarvis. A simple transfer of funds sees the process underway. Jarvis finds a girl in trouble with an imminent delivery. As soon as she goes into labor, you're induced. Private clinic, of course. Discretion bought. And you emerge with a bonny, bouncing babe in your arms.
And the mother?
Will be well compensated for something she never wanted in the first place. You'd be solving her problem too.
It's unthinkable.
You underestimate yourself.
It's true that the last thing the family needs is more unhappiness.
New life. Or greater happiness. You can bring joy to everyone if you're brave enough.
Perhaps.
I'll tell Mother to expect you.
Are you sure? I don't mind staying here.
No, you've too much time alone here to think. Her prattle at least serves as a diversion. I'll get proceedings underway, and hopefully, with any luck, it will all be over within a week.
What if I change my mind?
That is why I don't want you here, thinking.
But what if I do?
If that's at all possible, we stop. Right now.
When I sailed from England, I could never have even contemplated something like this.
What happened?
I was in love. I discovered it wasn't what I thought it to be.
What was it then?
Love, still. But different. Stronger in a way. The sort of love I could never have conceived of.
There it is then. A love you couldn't conceive, saved by an act you'd never have imagined. A certain symmetry.
Yes.
So,
yes.
our driver will collect you.
Hello.
I thought you might need the company. You'll miss her.
No, we all will.
Not Mother.
Oh, yes, she will. Possibly more than most. She hadn't had a crusade since she got me out of the gutter. Sarah gave her one.
Hadn't thought of it that way.
She got her fire back. Now she'll sit up there with nothing to do but think about what this cost her. It's not a happy thought.
George always forgives her, eventually. She's a tough old thing.
There's nowhere near as tough as she makes out, and with a crook heart. I've seen it before.
What?
People like her give up.
You're joking. Surely.
I reckon she's more at risk here than George.
You did tell Mr. Bly I wished him to join me.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then we'll need a second cup.
He said...
Come on, girl, out with it.
He said he'd better things to do, ma'am.
I see. Well, you may pour. Ah, perfect timing, my darling. James! We will need that second cup after all. Have you seen your father?
Yes, I have.
Look, I accept that I've broken his heart, but I have saved him from far worse in the future. Come and sit.
No, thank you. I won't.
Well, surely this doesn't preclude our taking tea together.
I don't want Father thinking there may be collusion.
I see. Well, then I ask just one thing.
Yes?
Any glimmer of softening towards me. Will you encourage it, please?
I will. If I see it. Suspect I won't.
I suggest you get back in the car.
I'll take to him with a wheel brace if you don't.
Lucky! Come here. Come here. Come here.
You. There's something you should know before you try and malign me to George.
You assume I will.
You won't leave without trying. I know about James. I'd hate him to become the source of rumor.
You'd do that, wouldn't you?
If I hear you've poisoned George against me,
I wouldn't give you the satisfaction of warning him. I want you to know when George doesn't want you, it's for one reason only. Because he sees you for what you are.
Heel.
Heel!
I said I'd see you gone.
Get her. Good boy.
You all packed?
I'm on the late train.
Would you like me to take you to the station?
I think it's best that we say goodbye here. Always taking me.
Of course. This should be enough,
I will reimburse you.
if you must.
I
Make
wanted
sure that
to-
you... Please, you.
No, you.
I won't lie. This breaks my heart. I'm trying to do what's right.
I will always treasure having met you.
And me, you. There's enough there for your return flight. And one back for your husband. There's something you need to hear. And it must come from me. You've found a home here. And you shouldn't lose it because we've lost each other. My heart would break even more if what we've had got in the way of your coming back. If it seems right, you bring him home.
I couldn't do that.
If it's right, you have to.
I love you.
I always will.
No other love